yeah. So yeah, hyping up Elden Ring. I was gonna say because me and Owl here, I think Elden Ring is the first ever game I've ever bought on the day of release. I
Yeah.
haven't
Oh,
bought
yeah.
anything else on the day of
Same here.
release.
We,
Yeah,
we, we
Elden
were
Ring.
so
Sorry.
our sort of childhood was like we never got games when they were released. We
Yep.
always got them
Yep.
on sale.
Yep.
Because spoilers, our family isn't exactly
The
video game
richest.
aficionados.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nor did we have money to throw out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
I distinctly remember cheering Alex on in a swimming competition because our mum had promised us
A
black and
game.
white,
Yeah. 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 Pokemon Black
and
and White. Yeah.
we would.
Yeah.
I was cheering you on at the end of your lane, like for black and white,
Yeah.
for
Yeah. For
black
Black
and
and
white,
White. Yeah. Yeah.
black
For the
and white.
game. For the game.
And I was so happy when I first got Pokemon X and Y. I was like, oh, it's in 3D.
Yeah. But to sum all of that up. To sum all of that up.
Yeah.
For us, the day of release for Elden Ring was something incredible, like incredible. Like we played it because Dark Souls 3 is a game that both me and Owl here have fallen in love with. It was the first Souls game we played, and I think we spent 200 hours each in that, and like that was.
Oh, I
a
spent
base.
way more.
Yeah, we what did we end up on, like the 13th playthrough?
I was on New Game 9 because I wanted to see how hard I could make the Abyss Watches.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna go until I can't beat the Abyss Watches.
That's what I mean. So yes, for Dark Souls, we've had like tens, if like not. We've had hundreds of hours in there.
Yeah.
Because we absolutely loved it. Sekiro the same, Bloodborne basically the same, and I've played the earlier Dark Souls as well. So
yeah, and both of us have only ever played Elden Ring once.
Yes, so there's another thing we'll talk about. Yes, the bugs in Elden Ring. The bugs. There are bugs.
I didn't think Jesus, it wasn't as bad as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Holy shit, was that not playtested?
I'm gonna have to remind you that
God.
this is a blooming Elden Ring talk and not a talk about Pokemon.
Yeah. We'll have to do a Pokemon stream because like, there's so many reasons as to why Pokemon has fallen off recently.
Yeah.
Every
So
game.
we'll see if we can do it once a week, I guess, or maybe once every
like
2 weeks.
like a rant video.
Yeah, just a rant one. Yeah.
Right. We're gonna move on to chat's gonna roast me alive for this.
Go on.
But I hate open world games.
Open world games. Right, define them.
despise
Define open world games. Go on.
No structure. You're just dropped in, and there's like sandbox mode. You can just go whenever you want, whenever you want.
We've got one person who backs it.
Okay, like there was a guy I was having a tennis hit with when I was still coaching.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Don't fight me on this. Breath of the Wild is the best game ever."
Ooh.
I was like,
I've never finished it. I've played it,
like,
but I've never
okay,
finished it.
I can see it. Like, it's a good game. I can't, say it's a bad game because I know a lot of people love that game, and I've seen it.
The same that you're saying now can be said for Elden Ring.
Yeah, it like for me, Skyrim is the best open world game, air quotes open world game ever done, right?
Yeah.
Because there's scaling.
Yep.
Right? You go and the world is big, and there's like caves that you work your way through, right?
Yep.
You work your way through the bandits and then kill the bandit chief, but it never gets stale, right? In Elden Ring, you're wandering through an open world. Some might say too big of an open world, right? And you're like, oh boy, can't wait to clear this catacomb to fight another, same enemy I've already fought.
Like the Black Assassins, right?
Yeah, like Skyrim, you can go anywhere and it doesn't get stale, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say because Skyrim is an open world game, right?
Yeah.
So by that account,
scaling involved, right?
Right.
What Dark Souls is all about fighting a boss at a certain level, right? So
Oblivion. I don't think
if
we've ever
the
played
game
it.
is condensed and linear, right? You're always going to be like the game can be planned out. Like you're going to fight this boss in this order. The boss is going to have this much HP and this much skill, right? So like that creates such divide in experience, right? So some players might, like me, went to Margit within the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, and they got absolutely
some players
slapped
all the way to Caelid.
Yeah, Sure House, Leeson, boom.
Oblivion, I've never played.
Yeah. And then the early one is, did you play Breath of the Wild, Zelda, when it was on the Switch?
No.
Yeah,
I haven't yet played because I like open world games.
They don't entice you.
Boring. It's just like so.
And maybe that's leaked over into Elden Ring then.
Like it's just the like I like the game should be structured, right? It should have A, B, and like it should lead into each other. Right?
A linear path. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, because then the game can be structured, planned, and then it feels more concise. It always feels like you have a next place to go.
Yeah.
Right. Elden Ring,
there's multiple points in Elden Ring where you go, what the fuck do I do now? Yeah, and you're like, and obviously it's open world parts of it, so you end up in a completely wrong area. So, for instance, you can end up, which is the fireplace, Caelid, right? You can end up in Caelid when you're clearly not supposed to go there
Yeah.
till later.
So like when a game can be structured, it's more enjoyable because it always like so. There was another meme on the Elden Ring subreddit where it's like a U curve.
Yeah.
So it's like you level vigor early, and it's like, oh my god, I'm crushing everything. I've got so much HP. This game's easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you wander into an area you weren't supposed to go. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It can be changed with such a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So you make Caelid, the rock place, the same as the normal one, but have Melania and Radahn's duel activate while you're playing the game, right?
Oh, so you mean so you can see it unfold?
That area is locked off. You can't go there.
Maybe because they're fighting, and then once you defeat a certain boss, then it becomes accessible.
So that would streamline the game, and then open that up, and it would also set up who Melania and Radahn are, so that when you go in, it's like, oh, I know who these people are,
and it intrigues you more. It like brings you into the world more. Then, right?
Like if you could, like, I know this is obviously a bit much, and you know, like imagine you step out there, you've explored for a little bit, you've killed Tree Sentinel maybe, and then you look onto the horizon, and you can just see like Radahn in the distance, like big armies, like low poly armies, obviously for reasons, but like imagine looking out and seeing that and being like, oh,
would you prefer a cutscene or would you prefer actually witnessing it in the game?
I would like maybe like kill Renala, right?
Yeah.
And like the moon ends and it does like a panoramic down and then it shows from the trailer.
Yeah.
On any fight, it blooms and then it cuts to like the overhead map where it just shows like devastation, like.
And then you can see like the Scarlet Rot unfold, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's breaking. Even if like they were to do that, it would break some law.
Yeah, obviously, but like
cutscenes are a time waste.
It would. I think cutscenes set up like what like imagine like you walk into Abyss Watchers, right?
You can tell I was super passionate about all this, by the way.
Yeah. Like to answer to that point, Kim, about cutscenes being a waste of time, right?
Yep.
When you're walking up to Abyss Watchers arena, there's swords everywhere on the ground.
Yep.
And you can hear them fighting. There's like clashes of swords. And you're like, oh, what's this? You open the door, walk in, and you just see two Abyss Watchers fighting.
Oh yeah, that kind of cutscene's great. Yeah.
Dope as hell, right? It's like, oh my god, why are they fighting? Oh, he just killed his bro. Betrayal.
Yeah.
And then he turns around.
But then it also has you asking questions. He's like, why are they fighting each other? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like they look identical. They look the same. One of them's got red eyes. So like, has something happened here?
He turns around, points his sword at you, and then looks up. Right? Then it starts. So you've got all that to take in as he starts running towards you. There's seas of dead Abyss Watchers everywhere. And then the bell's hitting.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all like a rush of, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. So I've noticed that we keep on bringing ourselves back to the Abyss Watchers.
Because Dark Souls 3 is just better Elden Ring. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It just is in every way.
Yeah.
Better themes, better level, like level design, better bosses, better musics, like, just better in every way.
I think like I'm gonna have to go into Elden Ring with this thing. So I haven't played Dark Souls 2, and apparently, obviously, there's a lot of stigma attached with Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2 is just gank the game.
Apparently, that's apparently what it is.
Well, I can't render opinion since I've not played, so it's probably not fair for me to say that.
But yeah, no. So there's a few things obviously that we have all issues with, I guess.
I just don't like open world games. They're just so unstructured, and they fall under its own weight. Like the big appeal of all the games is like it's open world.
Yep.
Why does everyone like open world? Like I've heard the argument like, oh, you can get lost in exploration.
He's got all of the Dark Souls and have never completed any of them. Blasphemy, dude.
Complete it just to fight Soul of Cinder. That is one of the coolest damn fights.
He's trash. What's the saying in the Souls world? Get good, isn't it? Get good.
Yeah.
Then hopefully, because I'm fortunately actually semi decent at Souls games, so you'll actually be able to watch me complete it.
Hours in.
Yeah. So I might be a bit rusty at the start, but
we have Convergence, right? You have the Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. I have Dark Souls 3 already downloaded, but like we'll probably do an Elden Ring stream at some point. Maybe next week. But yeah. Is there anything else that we need to move on to? Is that the last?
Well, I kind of covered my last point in what I was saying. It's like the story behind it is like. Dark Souls 3 has like pointed things, like the game opens up and it's like
the storyline. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Me and Kim on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
like when Dark Souls 3 opens, right? It's like there's 4 guys that you need to kill.
Oh yeah, you get tasked with a mission straight off the bat, right? Which is
it's like
and you get introduced.
These are the guys. These are the guys you need to kill.
Yeah.
This is where they are, right? You go and fight Abyss Watchers, and then you can either fight up to Anor Londo or you can go to Irithyll Dungeon. Like the game branches off. It doesn't feel
which is kind of open world. It's kind of open world,
but it's still structured, you know.
Yeah, they're still leveled based, right?
Yeah. So there's the illusion of choice. Like, you can go here.
Yeah.
But when it's sort of like you can do anything, whenever, wherever.
Yeah.
It kind of falls apart under.
There's even the option, like a weird one in Dark Souls 3, but there's even an option where you can go to Lothric Castle early and trigger
by beating the dancer.
Yeah, you can beat by fighting the dancer very early, which is obviously a very hard fight. But like I'm just saying, it's like an option, right? So it's sort of like the illusion of free will. But
So Kim, were you on about the storyline for Elden Ring or the storyline
for the Souls games in general, like? Or was that? I think that was responding to have we missed anything? Yeah, about Elden Ring. Yeah. Oh, Souls. Oh no, he meant Souls.
So I heard this argument somewhere that was like, someone hated Souls games because the story is so vague. It doesn't tell you anything.
Or does he mean open to interpretation?
Yeah, like you don't know why you're doing things. You just, I'm killing this now.
Hi, House. Welcome back.
But it's sort of like when that's why I like them, right?
Yeah.
Like Kim said, cutscenes are boring.
Yeah.
Like it takes 20. I'm going back to Pokemon, I know, but my profile picture is.
What about storylines now? So the storylines in the Souls games and storylines in the
chat. Guesses for how many minutes it takes for Pokemon Sun and Moon to give control to the player.
Yeah, so so what about like the opening to games sort of thing?
Opening cutscenes for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. How many minutes do you think it takes for the player to get control? Guesses in chat.
Team Fortress 2, yeah.
How many minutes do we think it takes to give control?
So
from pressing play to actually being able to control the character.
To control the character,
2 minutes. That's fair guess.
Generous. That's generous. I think most Pokemon games, like, are we talking after the professor questions? You know?
No, those are the old ones. We're talking about the new ones.
Okay. So what?
So how's times that by 20?
20.
It takes them 22 minutes for the player to get
That's not 20, is it? 20?
In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, it is.
20 minutes?
You have to wake up, talk to your mum, go up this route, go to a festival, get your starter, wake up back at your house, get taken down.
Is that not control, though? Is that not control?
No. Well, you mean you get controls and you can walk, but actually get to play the game.
Okay. You mean like
it's 20 minutes to first fight.
We've gone on a pretty big divergence here, right? We've gone all the way to Pokemon somehow.
Well, it's sort of the same thing. Is like when a game is too story focused.
Yeah.
Dark Souls and Souls games in general have always been very loose with the story.
Right? There's opening cutscenes, and they're not short, but I feel like they're still like a good length as an introduction to the world, right? Because Pokemon, you know what you get. Pokemon, you wander in, and it's
a child's game. Yeah. Dark Souls is about murder and betrayal
on a very large scale as well. Yeah. A very depressing world, even.
Cutscenes are necessary because it gives it. They should be
murder.
Everything you need to know in a short amount of time.
How's you okay, buddy?
The Abyss Watcher's example. I keep going back to this, but the Abyss Watcher example, is perfect for it.
Yeah.
You look up, two bros are killing each other. One bro kills one, turns and notices you, points his sword at you.
Yeah.
Fight begins, right?
Yeah.
Tells you everything you need to know. It's not like, the Abyss Watchers were a band of brothers and they would exterminate kingdoms surrounding the Abyss.
You have to find all that lore out yourself, right?
Half of them.
One more question for storyline.
And killed the other half, but because they're undead, they're cursed to fight each other forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you that. It just tells you two bros fighting, one kills another.
And the thing is that it doesn't even tell you that. It just shows you, and obviously there's a very big
example.
Yeah, there's a very big thing in direction, in film, in gameplay, which is the line is you show, you do not tell. Yeah, visual storytelling. Yeah.
Go on, Kim.
The balance of the damage of items in Souls and Elden Ring is like well balanced or off balance in favor of the. Oh, that's the question. So what about balance of weapons now? I mean, like damage wise.
I'm your average Bloodhound Fang spammer. I'm
Oh
sorry, it was just the weapon I used.
yeah.
It was good and did a lot of damage. Okay.
Yeah, so like
Now,
obviously when you find a weapon that does an crazy amounts
yeah.
of damage, does Elden? We'll talk about weapons first, right?
I actually disagree, House.
I am a
Elden
strength
Ring
boy.
Elden Ring was fun for the first 4 hours.
Kim was the same apparently. He's the bloodhound. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
I disagree, House. I think the first part of Elden Ring is the best by far.
I agree. I agree with that. The
Because
first
the
part is
game,
definitely.
like, you don't have a sense of scale. As soon as you pan out the map, and I'm like, oh my god, I've got like 10 hours more of gameplay.
Yeah.
I've got a job, a wife, and a child to attend. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. Like the only way you ever complete Elden Ring in a reasonable fashion is if you essentially devote a week to it, like
Yeah.
like a week of straight playing of
100%.
nothing else. So like for a lot of people out there trying to gradually make their way through the game, they won't finish it in months. I think
Yeah.
it will take months to. If let's say like playing on a weekend, months,
I feel like
half a year.
The gamer bit, like the percentage of gamers who like actually have
The time to devote to
the
it.
time to devote to like actually play the game, because like maybe some normal people have like 2 hours at the end of work,
Yeah.
and then they have to go to bed, or like they have a wife or a child, or I'm generalizing wife and child, but like they have other things to do.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah. Well, so for me,
you play 10 hours, right, and then you've forgotten because you have a life.
Yeah. But then I was gonna say because a friend of mine was playing Elden Ring when it came out with me when I was working, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I go home, I play like 2 hours, and then I'm done." And it's like, "How far have you got?" And he was like, "I forgot which boss it's called." He was like Renala, and I had beaten the game by that point, and I was like, "Dude, you've got so long left, so long."
Like, and the thing is like,
That's a perfect point there as well. Sorry, that like you only get 2 or 3 hours on Friday and weekends, right? So it's just like, not enough. It's not enough unless you're devoted to it.
You made the game so big, right? But then, like, it's fine if you want to make a big game, right? But if you made it more digestible and linear, where it's like, I can play for an hour and clear this area.
Yeah.
Not just like, well, I've got to go there, kill that guy to get this thing. Like the medallion system, right? So you've got two halves of medallion.
And you don't know where either one of them are, right?
But
no, you have to like you find them randomly.
It doesn't tell you you need a medallion. It doesn't tell you anything. It just has, well, there's 2 items you've got to find.
Yeah.
Good luck finding them.
Yeah.
What? Why? Who greenlit? Like, well, it's like needle in a haystack, right? Who greenlit? Like, right, to make the player progress, right? We're not going to make them fight a super difficult boss that teaches them a mechanic, right?
No, technically you do. In order to progress sometimes. If you're on about I mean like what's I'm trying to think now. Before the lift, right? You think of the medallions that you need for the lift. The medallions. When you have to pick up the medallions to get to the lift to progress to the city, right? And you're saying instead of having like a boss standing before the
I'm against. I think a boss should stand before that and be.
That's what I'm saying. So you're saying there should have been a boss standing there rather than us going out of our way to collect the medallions.
Or like a boss that stands before it, right?
Yeah.
Drops one half of the medallion and is like, let's just say like, for example.
You mean like is it Margit? The Fell Blade.
Fell Omen, yeah.
The Fell Omen, right? So when you fight him the first time, he drops one medallion, and when you fight him a second time, he drops the other half.
So something similar, like let's say in like a perfect world, the Caled thing. My theory about that is happening there, where it's locked off, and then the battle is what causes it to become rotten.
Yep.
Let's say that happens, and as you kill him, as he's dying, he goes like, "My brother fighting in Caled."
Yeah, that's fine, House. That's fine.
Remember me, and then dies.
Yeah.
As he dies, he's like, he says, "Go to Caled," essentially.
Yeah.
As like a sort of a hint to the player, like, "Oh, go here now. This is open to you now."
Yeah.
Rather than one of them's in a fort, the other one's just in the back end of nowhere.
I know, right? Which you happen across randomly. Yeah.
Like how? Like, and the other thing is, you either defeat Magma Rim, which is what I did, right? There's a Magma Rim over like a cliff edge somewhere.
Yep.
It's like, who greenlit this? What?
Yeah. Well, just having enemies and things you need to get randomly placed.
Just having like good luck, lol.
Yeah.